you can tell, a very excited crowd. People are embracing each other. It's a pretty slick set of wheels, I might say, but it's just one of nearly 300 cars here. Hurricane Sandy has brought 8-foot swells to Lake Superior. As you see behind me, the waves crashing over the breakwater. But take a look right over here. In the course of a year, the volunteers will pick up 8,000 bags of litter, like this plastic water bottle. Now, the Sikuliaq will remain in Marinette till the end of the year for further sea trials, and then on early next year, it will begin its voyage to Seward, Alaska. Bill Nye, yes, that science guy, spoke to a sold-out audience in Marquette last night. Now, to give you some perspective, I'm about 6 foot, and as you can see, it has plenty of room to carry me. Greg, it's a very special and tender moment here at Van Cleef Park. Right here is a near exact replica of the Vietnam Veteran Memorial Wall. I'll toss it to commercial. Take a bite. Come on. Okay, I want to see if you like it.
I know I'm going to like it. You're a good baker. Okay, I'll take a bite. But
I cooked so hard. After nearly 4 months of construction, crews are right now bringing in the last barge of rock to be used to complete the breakwater. That pool of candidates will be narrowed down to 2 before the general election this November, when voters will pick the next Marquette County probate judge. Reporting in Marquette, Eric Kane, TV6 News. Steve, politics and faith go together like oil and water, and the controversial mixture has come to a boil in one UP community. Faith and politics, the two sensitive topics we've been told never to bring up at a dinner table, are causing a stir in Munising.
Abortion or birth control, we're not allowed to make that decision ourselves. The church will make it for us. Bull. It's not going to make that decision for me.
Chris Chartier says he's a devout Roman Catholic and a lifelong Democrat. This Marine veteran says he's outraged by what he's heard during Mass here at Sacred Heart Parish.
I went to the Saturday Mass at 4 o'clock here at Sacred Heart, and we were told if we didn't vote the way the bishop wanted us to vote, we were not in communion with the Holy Father. We were not in communion with the Catholic Church, and we were everything but excommunicated if we didn't vote Republican.
Chartier's frustration lies not with the pastor who allegedly made those comments, but with Bishop Alexander Sample, the head of the Diocese of Marquette. In recent publications of the UP Catholic, the bishop outlined his position on a number of topics, including ones he considers non-negotiable.
There are some issues which are fundamentally always wrong and involve what we call intrinsic evils.
These so-called intrinsic evils include abortion, contraception, and gay marriage. And on these issues, Chartier actually agrees with the bishop, but he says Sample crosses the line by explicitly telling Catholics how to vote. While Sample never mentions the candidates by name, he does slam the president for his public support of gay marriage.
I am not endorsing a political candidate publicly in this election at all. I am simply, as teacher of the faithful, laying out the principles. That's my job.
Like many 10-year-olds, Jacob Styler enjoys hunting, hanging out with friends, and watching football. But these extracurriculars were cut short when Jacob was diagnosed last March with Ewing sarcoma, a rare form of cancer. His battle with the disease captivated a nationwide following, and after a dozen rounds of grueling chemotherapy and radiation, his health was restored. He was cancer-free.
Now that I'm back, it's mostly back to my normal life in a way, so I get all that put behind me. I very rarely think about it.
But Jacob's problems may not be completely behind him. His doctors say he needs several more rounds of chemotherapy and radiation. So Jacob's next battle will take place here in this Marquette County courtroom. Following the advice of doctors, the state of Michigan has decided to take the Stylers to court, where they will try to prove to a jury that Jacob's parents are being negligent in refusing further treatment for Jacob.
In the hospital, I couldn't imagine anything worse. It was horrible.
Styler and his parents say the chemo and radiation heavily ravaged his body, and any further treatment would be excessive for a boy without cancer.
He was sick, he was nauseous, he was extremely depressed. He told me numerous times that he wished he'd fall asleep and never wake up. It just does fight cancer cells.
While the Stylers are passing on conventional treatment, they say they are aggressively seeking alternative methods for nourishing Jacob.
I think you need to be proactive and do your research and make an educated decision with your spouse and as a family.
Family attorney Paul Marin of Marquette is representing Ken and Erin Styler. He says their case is unlike anything he's ever dealt with before and has the potential to set a legal precedent.
If the parents are reasonable people, then the parents should be the ones who make the medical decisions for the child.
For now, Jacob's parents say they will continue to take their case to the public. Erin has already written to Governor Rick Snyder and met with State Senator Tom Casperson to share her son's story.
You know, I'll do whatever it takes to protect my kids, and they're my babies, and I love them. And like I said, no one loves them more than us, and so that's why we are in this fight.
Today, Republican presidential hopeful Rick Santorum became the first and only presidential candidate to make his way to the UP this election year.
I'd like to ask you about...
After making his rounds on the Sunday talk shows, Santorum paid a visit to Lowry's pasty shop in Marquette Township, where we caught up with him.
You know, this is really a two-person race up here in Michigan between myself and Governor Romney, and I know Governor Romney has, is making the big play that he's the hometown guy, although he was governor of Massachusetts, not Michigan.
Santorum criticized Romney as being tone deaf to the needs of average Americans.
Governor Romney has a plan that's all oriented around Wall Street, not Main Street, and certainly not Detroit.
The candidate took a bite into the UP experience, enjoying himself a pasty and impressing those who came to see him.
I think he's really down to earth. He's got some middle-class roots like we all do in the UP.
He's different from following him and reading a lot about him and listening to him debates. I think he's the real deal.
The devout Roman Catholic also headed to St. Peter Cathedral for Mass and met with parishioners. And then it was back to politics with a rally at the Holiday Inn capping the former senator's trip. On issues ranging from health care to gay marriage, presidential hopeful Rick Santorum made the case that he's the true conservative heading into the crucial primary here in Michigan. While most of the 200-plus crowd applauded Santorum's rhetoric, not everyone in attendance appreciated his conservative ideology.
I don't want us to move backwards as a country. I want us to move forwards. Much of what he said, I think that some of it is frightening, some of it is just false. Some of the things he said weren't even true.
Politics aside, though, Santorum's unexpected visit begs the question, if you're elected president, will you come back to the UP?
I keep getting that question everywhere I go. If I promise to come back to every place I've been, that's going to be hard to get out to new places I haven't been.
There's only one place like the UP.
Well, I probably should come maybe in the summertime. That might be a good idea.
Whether or not he returns as the GOP nominee for president may be decided this Tuesday when voters in Michigan and Arizona head to the polls. Eric Kane, TV6 News, Marquette.